Butterfly, fly here with me.
Hi, welcome back to my summer house. I decided to pop out for a cup of tea and eat a sandwich. It was made for school packed lunches, but apparently somebody didn't want this type of sandwich. I don't know what's wrong with a ham sandwich. It would require you not to have it. But that's children for you. They change their mind all the time. And however much you want your children to kind of, I don't know, like the things that you like and be as pleasant as you imagine you are. But unfortunately children are children, and whatever's inside them, whatever mood they're in, whatever their likes or dislikes, they will always come out. If you want them to be polite and kind and caring, as much as they can do that for a little while, at some point they'll probably show that they're cheeky, probably show that they're a bit rude, and will probably do something that even makes you look very good as a parent, or maybe very embarrassed as a parent. Yes, I remember one time when I was my first time out, I think, with my children. I'd taken all three out, and they're all very small. Nevaeh was a small baby in a little cheap seat, or was small enough to stay in a chair or in a little pouch when I was carrying her. Chloe was wandering around, and Connor was running around like he loves. And we went to a bouncy castle place, or a place where there's a bouncy castle and a little cafe, and I sat down and put my stuff around there, mini bags, because I was a new parent, prepared for any form of problem, which normally required 10 changes of clothing. My dad bag purchased for me was stuffed full, but I remember at the end I needed to round them all up, and I probably did something terrible really for a dentist, but there was a mum next to me that was very impressed. When I needed to gather them all around, I lifted up a fruit shoot, a sugary drink that I happened to like very much at the time, and instead of me having to call very loudly to gather them all together or do anything, I just held up this fruit shoot and Connor and Chloe came running to me, and we were ready to pack up to leave, and the mum next to me was very, very impressed, and I was just I don't know if it was clever, because they probably would have met with water. But the point is, you know, things, whoever we are, just comes out in the end, doesn't it? You know, we do our best to put our face on or be what we think others expect us to be, but sometimes it just seeps out. And it's a bit like a cup of tea. You know, what makes a cup of tea? It's a brew. You know, pick a few flowers, pick a few leaves, put it in water and see what happens. Take a mint leaf, stick it in a bit of water with a bit of heat in it, and soon you have yourself a nice mint tea. And I think that's the same with our music. You know, when we put ourselves into that water, whether we're doing something fun or whether we're putting our deep heart into a song, I think our personality, our experience of life, or whatever we come with, even our pretenses, you know, they all go into a song. And when we sing a song, they all come out and show, even if it's on a subconscious level, for both yourself and the person hearing, I believe. And I think that's sometimes why you can hear a really good song but maybe don't connect with the artist, or maybe you connect with the artist but then you don't quite connect with the song, and you can't always put your finger on what that is that clicks, that makes it connect with you. But I think it's something to do with that. You know, when I have a cup of tea, I remember sometimes I asked for a cup of tea, and my mum would make a cup of tea, And normally my mum would have tea, but she also drank coffee. And every now and again, you know, if they've used the same spoon for coffee and then they make you tea, you taste the coffee. And back when I only drank tea, you know, I would never say anything. But yeah, drink your tea and go, oh, it's coffee in there. And it's a bit like that. You know, someone gets up, or you sang a song, and they taste that cup of tea, and then they, you know, there's something off about it. What is it? And I think it's to do with all the things we bring. Our sincerity in song, even if it's a fun song or anything, I think does show through. And sincerity ain't necessarily about being truthful. Sincerity is just the reality of who we are, isn't it? I mean, we class sincerity as a, you know, almost like a behaviour, but actually I think sincerity is the reality of who we are, as we are in that day and in that moment. And you know, sandwich, you know, is made up of ingredients, and we as a person, we're made up of many things, and you know, we have our own sense of understanding of the world, even if that's evolving, and you know, includes everything. You know, everyone agrees that there's a sense of spirituality in the world as well as the ground, and I think often those things seem a little bit more closer than we like to think. We like to put them in a box. But the things going on in the inside of us, our thoughts and our soul, our emotions and our minds, and those inspirational hidden things inside us, I think are very closely laid on the surface of our face. You know, sometimes our face can look damaged because someone's physically punched us in the face. You know, I've got a good one in Waffle for no fault of my own, but the punch landed and it made a difference to my face. When I managed to trawl to a pub the other side of the road and check to see if there was anything different, and there was something different. But at the same time, actually sometimes we can not have had anything happen on the outside of us. I mean, that, you know, at the time, that you know, that punch in the face left me with all sorts of hidden fears. You know, so like something physically done on the outside, it affected me inside, and for a while I had to deal with that and get over those fears, and you know, work through those feelings that I had as a consequence of that. But in the same way, you know, something can happen. You know, we can experience heartbreak or a loss inside, and it shows on our face. And that goes to both extremes. You can have extreme negative experience that, you know, makes you feel or look lost. I mean, you could put a lot of makeup on or put nice shirts on and make yourself look good to cover it up, but that stuff's still there. Likewise, it can be the other way. You can have such a happy day that it's like your physical body can't contain it. Your face just wants to explode. And you can look gaunt because of that. You know, other people think, you know, might interpret that as being fear sometimes, or anxiety, but actually it can sometimes be that you're smart, your face can't contain your smile. And sometimes I've been, you know, there's actually been lots of situations where sometimes I feel actually really happy, but it's like you don't want to feel too happy because you know somebody else is not feeling the same because they're in a different place. You know, maybe you've just had a really, really great day for you personally, where you're really beaming in your face, and you want to burst out with, you know, joy or whatever kind of thing. Yet somebody else has had a really bad day, and you feel their empathy, and yet you've still got your own. You know, and the two things can be inside you, and it's like you've got to be compassionate or to show care in consideration of that person in pain. You're hiding and holding back your own joy. And that is a really hard thing to do sometimes. Music, why am I saying all this? The music is very much the same. What is inside us is always there. I felt like this is a conversation I need to have because I love and enjoy the music. You know, I've been to Glastonbury last year. It could be the last Glastonbury that's ever as it was. Depending how today works out and what's going on in our situation in a minute. But that was amazing. And when I saw the list of people on the billboard, you know, trying to get around to everyone, you know, Sheryl Crow was on there, Kylie Minogue, George Ezra more recently, new artist, you know, there were so many. Keane were there, Keane, amazing. Couldn't get in the tent, it was too busy. But they were there singing the heart out. The Streets were there, you know, doing their kind of talk rap style. Loads of others, loads and loads of others. Absolutely amazing, and like I absolutely am there with everyone else enjoying what they've contributed and what they bring from themselves, their own feelings, their own views on the world and love and life and laughter and joy, wanting to dance, wanting to sing, from their viewpoint. And all those artists I think are pretty sincere. They show who they are. And but at the same time, I am, you know, maybe what somebody else, maybe some of those artists might be up there having experienced a whole life of going into concerts and things like that and experiencing the joy of that music. Yet someone like me, as much as I've had the same and enjoyed those that music, at the same time, actually, like I said in the previous video, the Christian music, the gospel music, on the other hand, has also been something that's really impacted who I am as a person. And I guess I want to say this as a, you know, something I've noticed in my videos, and you'll notice, is my reference to my personal beliefs. And, you know, we are all free, and I believe we are all free to choose and decide what we believe. We all have our mind that's capable of thinking and working these things through and evaluating our experiences of life. And I don't think that's for anyone to push on another person. And I want to make sure that's clear. It's not my intention here. This is actually about the music. What I want to show is that actually the kind of brew of influences that have gone on from myself as an unknown musician. And it's the same kind of brewing that happens for any musician. You know, Elvis Presley was shaped by rock and roll and by gospel music. You know, there are many artists now coming through, you know, like there's many artists now that are coming with lots of different worldviews, influences on their music. You know, and you know, the Beatles, you know, they were, you know, they had a lot of spirituality referenced in their music. And I think that's because by nature, anyone comes with who they are as a person, and however much they might try to fit a genre, however much they might try to, I don't know, sing something that's comfortable for the listener and not necessarily challenging the listener. And sometimes they really are challenging the listener, you know. The Live Aid song was about challenging people's minds and making people think, you know. And everyone does it. Everyone has these moments of inspiration where they want to inspire everyone to think a certain way and change their viewpoint. Now, Amazing Grace was about changing the viewpoint. Why was slavery bad? Not that you needed it to be explained. It was pretty obvious. But unfortunately, you know, when it comes to being kind and caring, we have to be blind by the status quo. And sometimes it needs a row. And sometimes that row comes from a Live Aid concert. Or maybe it comes from a gospel song. Or maybe it comes from, you know, any other genres out there. Blues and jazz, or, you know, we're getting a lot of international cultures of music coming through, and it is amazing, and all that's coming in. And so I just wanted to show really that I'm coming from the same place. I'm just trying to show how music has impacted me, and some of the most inspirational music for me is a mixture of the two. And I want to introduce artists and musicians that have brought that gospel side that is connected with my personal beliefs and my own personal journey in that developing. Because our spiritual beliefs and as much as our, you know, learning maths and all those sciences of working out how the world works, and how our soul works and how our mind works and body works, that we know so much about nowadays because people have researched and found out a lot. But sometimes old songs, sometimes somebody's words from thousands of years ago, not just people of Christian faith, but people of all kind of backgrounds have said things or found things or made statements that seem to ring true even in today. And it is quite amazing for me when I really look at the evidence open-handedly how much synchronization there seems to be behind a lot of things. And maybe it's just because we're all wired a bit the same way. And where there's conflict, it seems to be more about our personal desire to be accepted and given credit. You know, so if two people come wanting credit and, you know, wanting to have their viewpoint known as true, sometimes that can create conflict. And the irony is both could potentially be true, because one person's experience of life is true to them. That's what they've experienced. You can't say that what they're saying is not true. That's true from their experience. And the other person could be true from their experience. Two artists can come to the same issue with two different experiences. You know, Elvis Presley can talk about the ghetto and the sadness of the ghetto and wanting to save a child from the ghetto, yet a modern day rapper can say, look, I live in the ghetto and I love the ghetto and I want to survive and do well in the ghetto. You know, Elvis is trying to pull those children out in safety, to bring them into a place of safe, you know, unharmed, whereas another rapper thinks, do you know what, actually I belong here. And the reality is, as sad as we might find that, and the consequences of those different ideas, if they were able to be fulfilled. Yeah, the sad reality is both places can be true, and as much as we might not like the idea of a young man staying in those hard situations, trying to fight a battle in gang culture, that is a reality, a sincere reality of our world. as much as we don't like those things, somebody in there who feels like they belong there is justified by their experience. And as much as Elvis would like to challenge them, as much as that person would like to challenge Elvis, in worldviews, both can be right. There's truth in both. You know, I know people have had to survive hard situations to stay true to who they are. Maybe for better reasons. But then, you know, how are we to judge when we haven't had the same experience? You know, I grew up in a place full of hope, full of encouragement on a regular basis. And therefore, my worldview is very much of wanting to encourage, wanting to show care. But if you've been raised a different way, if you're a child in Africa being raised by vigilantes who want you to do harm and don't want you to care, you know, you're not going to know any different. And maybe one day somebody will show you different in a way that you can hear. But if you don't, maybe you just have to survive that life. And maybe there's a story there that we don't yet know how it's going to work out. In the same way, and Elvis, someone with all the heart and hope in the world, can encounter a situation so dark and seemingly cruel that even their world perspective can be changed, and they can become broken-hearted, lose hope, lose their faith, lose their confidence in the ideals of what they've been raised in. And all these things are in music. This is the point. Even this whole waffle that I'm chatting about now, to have a bit of treacle with my sandwich, is all to say the music contains all of this stuff. The music contains all the people's life stories, views, opinions, perspectives, and it's all bound up in beautiful rhythms, tunes, and various in kinds. And some are more technically perfect and sound perfect. Some are rough and hard cut. Some might be one word repeated. One might be 1,000 words. However many Eminem can squeeze in to 2 minutes. Whereas one can just sing blue. I'm blue. I don't even need, some songs don't even need real words to be successful. They just need bop, skilled up, do wop, skilled up, do wop, do up day. I don't even know if that's right, but everyone makes it up, I'm pretty sure, when they sing that song. The point is, through those words, the sincerity comes. Who they are comes out. And as I go through songs from here, I want to imagine that, that brew of all that I am, that would be, that appreciates music, whether that be Christian songs, other world music, which I've experienced, and that's it. That's the hope in the songs coming through. So any kind of Christian songs, maybe, or different influences that come across that maybe are, come as different from your perspective. It's not for pushing or pulling. It's for showing the perspective. It's for showing somebody's heart coming to a song that's connected to me, and how I connect to those songs. And I could say, some of the great Christian songwriters, like a Graham Kendrick, who is still around and was very, very popular in the 80s, and that had a lot of music, what I say was influenced me in my beliefs and my feelings. Well, do you know what? I hate to say it, even Prodigy is probably the complete opposite of a Graham Kendrick. has influenced me as a person. And in some moments of darkness or hard times, has actually given me a spark of hope. And sometimes heaven has to meet earth. Our reality and what a dream is has to connect. And any musician literally wants to take this drum, take the physicality of putting a hand to string in order to see a dream come true. The dream of singing a song that's either going to change their heart or someone they love, or maybe even change the world and stop slavery, or stop a hardship, or give hope in the middle of a war. And as that person stands up there singing their heart out, whatever they come with is what they're going to bring. However the song may come out, it will always be sincere. There we go. There's a cup of tea, a sandwich, and a big little waffle. But hey, what I want in these videos is to be me. This is Matt Bunkle. This is my summer house. This is me going through all the songs that have led me here to this point in life. I just want to sing. I want to let it all out. Even if it's for a few. Even if it's one. Even if that one's me. Because all these songs have made a difference to me. And I love them. And I appreciate them. And that's the way it is. That's the tea that I bring. That is the sandwich that I deliver. And that's what makes every artist who they are. And that's brilliant. Absolutely amazing. That we can have all these songs to know that we are cared for, give us hope maybe, or help us to understand where we are in a particular point in life, and hope that it helps each other. You know, Elvis' perspective needs to be heard by the guy in the ghetto. But the guy in the ghetto has something to say to Elvis too. And we all have something to contribute to the conversations and the songs. Enjoy the beautiful weather. It's amazing outside. Summer's here. Woohoo!
You were always meant to be free.